Hello guys, in today's episode, before we begin make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out when we post. Brother ruined my wedding by proposing, so I ruined his proposal throwaway account. I, 35 meters, have a young brother Todd, 29 meters, who had a complicated birth and had to stay a month in the ICU, and because of that my parents have always doted on him and almost denied him nothing, even if it was to the detriment of my sister Abby, 32F, and I. My brother drinks in on the attention and has on more than one occasion made himself the center of attention at either my sister's, or a cousin's special event. Because of this, Abby and I have a strained relationship with Todd and our parents. Unfortunately, Todd met and fell in love with Lucy, 24F, who announced her own pregnancy at the baby shower my mum held for Abby. When I proposed to my wife Michelle, 30F, I just wanted to elope, but she really wanted her family to be there, so I invited my family out of obligation. While out, my best man Jim, 35 meters, noticed a receipt from a jewelry store slipped out of Todd's pocket. Jim confronted Todd about this, which led to an argument. Jim told me everything and I told Todd that he was no longer going to be a groomsman because I knew he was going to propose at my wedding. Todd cried to our parents, and which led to a blowout. In my parents' eyes, since Todd never admitted that he was going to propose to Lucy at my wedding, I was unfairly judging him. I refused and brought up Todd's past behavior. My parents couldn't refute this and got Todd to agree to not try anything at my wedding. This wasn't enough to convince me to let him be a groomsman, but I warned him that if, as a guest, he'd try anything I would make him regret it. Fast forward to the wedding and surprise surprise, Todd walked over to Lucy and proposed to her during Michelle's father-daughter dance, and did it in a way so that everyone would notice. Cue my revenge. Jim and I had hired a woman to pretend to be Todd's side piece who cornered Todd and Lucy and claimed that she was pregnant with his baby. Todd denied this, but when she called his phone, I gave her his number and messed with Todd's phone to incriminate him. It didn't look good. Lucy threw the ring back at Todd and left in tears. When Todd saw the smile on my face, he knew that it was me, and I didn't respond to a single call, text from him or my parents until after the honeymoon. Lucy has thrown Todd's stuff out and has been denying access to their kid. Todd is furious and is demanding that I clear his name. I sent him a text saying that I had no idea what he was talking about, as well as a screenshot of a bill for the wedding, and gave a vague message demanding reimbursement for half of the wedding costs. Michelle knew the whole time what I was planning and gave me the green light after Todd ruined her moment with her dad. So I felt pretty good, but now even Abby thinks I went too far. Magazine subscriptions. This happened about 15 years ago when the internet and e-com were still young. I had this supervisor who was a real douchebag. Once he asked me to help him out at the last minute and take a particularly shitty shift, and I did because I was a team player. The anticipated business level did not materialize, so I left at my scheduled time. To be clear, I did not leave early and abandon my colleagues. I left at the end of the shift. I did not stay late. Couple of days later, douchebag schedules a meeting with me, and when I arrive I see the two owners are there as well. DB starts calling me out, accusing me of abandoning my colleagues and falsifying the timesheet. I ask him if he is on crack. He keeps berating me and questioning my commitment and loyalty. The two owners sit in stunned silence, but don't defend me. I was employee number 2. He was number 35 or something like that, so eventually I said I had enough, and got up and went home. He sent me an email later that day saying I was suspended for 3 days, so don't come into the office tomorrow. I ignored that too. The next morning when I got in, he was surprised to see me and told me to go home. I basically told him to go fuck himself. I no longer recognized him as my supervisor. My pay never got docked either. Office tensions were high after that, but I just went about my business like he wasn't there. He continued to be a douchebag, but I just bided my time. I am very patient. About a year later I noticed his T4 envelope on his desk. No one was around, so I palmed it, and that gave me his home address and social insurance number. Also learned I made about triple his salary. made me feel good. His house was only a short side trip for me on my way home, so I would leave early, go to his house and intercept his mail. I would take it home, steam it open, scan it and seal it back up. Next day I would swing by and put it back in his mailbox. It took about 3 months, but I eventually got 2 credit card statements and I was able to determine he got his CC statements around the 10th of the month. Got his utility bills too, and a letter from social services notifying him he was going to get his wages garnished for non-payment of child support. Once a douchebag, always a douchebag. I had been putting together a list of URLs for the most violent, disgusting porno websites hawking magazine subscriptions featuring topics such as bestiality, golden showers and scat, among many others. Readers, I am not judging. I spent a Saturday night mid-month with a bottle of rum subscribing him to every magazine, both print and online, that I could find. In those days there was very little credit card security. If you had the full card number and billing postal code, you were in. There were no CVV or PIN numbers. I knew he wouldn't see his statements for over 3 weeks. The following Monday I cancelled his utilities, telling them I was going abroad for an extended period and wanted to suspend the services. I made it a point to be exceptionally rude to the utility companies so the account would be flagged. Hopefully as douchebag. Also got his vehicle registration reminder and vehicle insurance renewal, both of which I did not return. To DB's credit, he never said a word, that I heard, in the office, about the shit going down in his personal life, but I knew he was suffering and that was good enough for me. About 6 months later, on a whim, one night after a few cocktails, I tried signing him up for more stuff and was surprised to find both his credit cards still worked. He hadn't closed the cards. I signed him up for a bunch more magazines but made the mailing address the office. Signed him up for a number of online corn sites, and used his work email. That got people's attention, and not long after DB was no more. I win. Backstory. So in 3rd then 4th grade, there was a kid with the same name as me. He hated me since I had his name and because I had stolen it. So he started calling me Vomit Boy and saying I smelled like vomit. Well, the teacher joined him and I would get moved to the back of the classroom at a desk alone by the teacher because I don't want your stink near me and no one else does either. Made my life hell for the year. He would steal stuff, ruin books, put rotten food in my locker and other stuff like that. The revenge. So next year one had had enough of his shit. I knew there was a girl in class he was infatuated with. I am not saying liked, as I don't know if he did at that age, but he always tried to sit with her and do stuff with her, skipping the games at recess to try and talk with her. SH never wanted to and asked him to stop several times. So I started writing notes from her to him, mostly saying to only talk through notes and stuff like that. So he started leaving notes where I said to in the notes. I left him. Well, I kept this up for good 5-6 months, and he started bugging me less. A great bonus was he left her alone this whole time. So I am going to be leaving this school soon, so I decided to end it. I write a note saying I never actually wanted to be friends. I only wrote these notes so you would leave me alone and stop being creepy. I hope you feel bad for how you treated the other kids. If you thought we could be friends when you keep making some of my friends cry, you're wrong. Aftermath. He saw the note and ran from the classroom crying. He ended up becoming very quiet, stopped bothering people as much, and would cry a lot. He started getting made fun of all the time and his group of fellow bullies left him. It was glorious. He ended up getting bullied more than he bullied me after I left. The bully was also held back a grade before, so he was 11 in 4th grade. I feel it's very fitting after what he did to me. I still get happy thinking of this. Edit, put 12 for his age. It was 11, sorry for the typo. Also, I don't think that you guys realize that people get bullied by teachers all the time. Like, that's not uncommon.